Kia ora. My name is J.D. Evans. Let's read a book. This is Diary of a Kiwi Kid by Robin Lee Robinson. Robin is an independent author from Aotearoa, and Diary of a Kiwi Kid is the first in a trilogy of fiction diaries telling different stories. Big thank you to Robin Lee Robinson for giving me permission to read this book on my YouTube channel. As usual, I'm going to read the first section of the book, and then we're going to have a quick yarn about it at the end. So let's get into it. Jack John Dell seems like your typical Year 10 student, hanging out in Gisborne with his mates. But Jack also writes winning speeches in English and te reo, while his twin sister, Hinemarama, writes rap. Did they inherit this talent for words from Grandma Roslyn, who was always determined to be published? She joined junior writers while still in primary school. He can't ask her how she did it, because Roslyn mysteriously disappeared in Bangladesh when she was 18. She hasn't been heard of since. It isn't until 2017, 40 years later, that Jack gets a chance to understand what sort of person his grandmother was. Sworn to secrecy, he's handed Roslyn's diary from her locked writing desk. Other mysteries are hinted at as he reads on, firing Jack with the determination to find out more, especially what happened to Roslyn. Jack John Dell, Gisborne, 2017. This afternoon Nan Helene handed me two things, a key on an old shoelace and a little handmade box. When I unlocked it, there was this new USB in a vacuum-sealed pack. I look at her and I go, I've got heaps already, but thanks. Jack, this is different. This flash drive is your secret diary. Flash drive? Secret? My laptop has a password, so you can't get into my system anyway, but Nan's 79, so she probably forgot that part. Earlier in the day, this random lady called Jennifer Soren turned up in a ute with Gisborne Poultry Fanciers Association written across it. She was picking up Nan Helene to take her into town for lunch. When they returned, she asked me, "Would you like some bantam hens?" "Nah, I don't think so. They're too small for eating, too many tiny bones, like those quail rich as people eat. Besides, we've got heaps of chicken in our freezers. Shut the door, Nan hangs out with some real weird people." I said no thanks politely, as I'd been taught, and after they said their goodbyes and Nan went inside, I got out my laptop and dragged a beanbag under the 3 jacaranda trees, plugged in Nan's USB and headed up a new file. This is my first entry. Saturday. Ko Jack John Dell aho, e te ko ma wha okutau. That's enough. Always start with a bit of a mihi, Uncle Hone says. Protocol. I'm Jack John Dell and I'm 14. I have a twin sister, Hinemarama, or Hine for short. Our mother was raised by our grandmother. Well, Nan Helene isn't really our grandmother, not even. She's the aunt of our maternal grandmother, Roslyn. Nan Helene and Nanny Sarah have been together like forever. But they've got no tamariki, apart from Mum, that is. We all live in Nan Helene's 2-bedroom whare on her half-acre section in Kaiti. It's small, but works well for us 5 because there's a big self-contained sleep-out on the property as well. Ours. There's a mystery in our family concerning our maternal grandmother, Roslyn John Dell. So much we don't know. Our mother doesn't even remember her biological mother. When Mum was a toddler, Roslyn disappeared in Bangladesh at the age of 18 and has never been seen or heard of since. So, I'll start at the beginning. Grandma Roslyn had our mother to this dude called Matt Branson when they were like 16. Roslyn and Matt went to primary school together in Elgin, Gisborne. He's one of those wealthy-ass accountants. Even when he was a little kid, everyone knew Matt Branson was going to be good with money. You don't want to start him talking about finance, stocks and shares, or the exchange rate. Don't like to diss our Papa Matt, but he's boring as. So Pakeha you'd never know there was any Māori in him. But there is. He doesn't celebrate his Māori side, knows hardly any te reo. But he's always supported us, even though he's been married now for years and has other kids. He's good like that, and Mum is glad she has some half-brothers and a sister through her father. So Hine and I have heaps of cousins on that side too. When Mum was born, everyone was like, that can't be Matt Branson's kid, because the baby looks so Māori, and Roslyn's fully Pakeha and Matt's such a white dude. I overheard Nanny Sarah describe both Matt and Mum as throwbacks. It's all right for the old people to use this racist language, but we'd get in trouble at school if we said half the politically incorrect stuff they do. They say Rosalind and Matt were tight. They were going to have this big wedding on Waikanae Beach when they were 20. Those plans came to nothing when she disappeared, and Papa Matt eventually got together with someone else. Anyway, Mum and Papa Matt did the DNA testing about 10 years ago. Definitely father and daughter. The Jondells, including Nan Helene and Nanny Sarah, they're all Pakeha, but Mum and Hine and me whakapapa back to both Ngāti Porou through Papa Matt. As well as Ngāti Porou, Hine and me also whakapapa back to Whakatohia and Tuhoi through our own father. Useless bugger, Mum calls our father PK. I wish you wouldn't diss him like that, but it's their stuff, not our business. Because of Nan Helene's strict rules, our father's not allowed to visit when he's stoned or pissed, which is most of the time. Our mum agrees with her mum. That's what she calls our Nan. She says we have a duty of care to provide a safe environment for our tamariki and our kuia. Not that she dare refer to Helene and Sarah as old people, anyway, not to their faces. Duty of care? Mum's let that iwi services mission statement take her over a lot. She's worked there like forever. Hine and I don't see that much of our dad PK, but he's okay. His whānau and us, we're cool, safe as. Nan Helene says Māori kids, especially Whakatohia, are renowned for writing excellent family history because they have a well-developed whānau connections. She keeps talking about that Apotiki girl who got sent to Gallipoli for the First World War centenary for that speech she won. She's so proud of me winning our regional secondary school's speech contest. I delivered in both Te Reo and English. Nan Helene even reckons Hine's talent for writing and performing rap runs through our bloodline through our grandmother Rosalind. I'm not too sure about that. Did this cool-as genre even exist when Rosalind was around? Doubt it. I know Nan isn't into rap, even though she pretends to tolerate it. Nan Helene's into old-as sounds from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Oof, ow, ouchie, my bones. It was Nan who got Mum into Gisborne Young Writers when she was young, and Hine and me when we were about 11, though Hine doesn't go anymore. That's 3 generations, and it all started with Rosalind. Lots of writers and others around here still remember Rosalind. There's this lady called Kirsty O'Neill who comes over to see our Nan. She went to school with both Rosalind and Papa Matt. Mum has no time for Nan's Rosalind talk, as she calls it. She goes, my biological mother dumped me on Mum Helene and Mummy Sarah when I was a baby. She's probably still alive and well in Bangladesh, hooked up with some rich-ass Maharaja. She's always saying how Rosalind did her a favour, and how she was lucky to be raised by strong wahine in a stable, loving gay marriage. That she has not one but 2 fire, plus the support of her biological father. Once I overheard Nan say to her older sister, our great-aunt Julie, that our mum is scarred and emotionally wounded by a chronically fractured maternal bond, but she's resistant to counselling. There sure is a lot of female korero and energy around here. When it gets too much for me, Papa Matt tells me I can bike over to Elgin and chill with him. I hang out often with my great-grandparents too. Great-grandpa Steve, Nan's little brother. Little? He's like 72. He lets me carve Māori designs from log offcuts in his mean-as shed, giving me the exact same health and safety induction every time, then makes me wear earmuffs and safety glasses. Inside his shed, the walls are covered in A4 laminated photos of him and Rosalind making a trolley and other stuff. Man, you'd never think it was him in those photos. He looked so different when he had hair, like his boys Josh and Justin. Josh owns their house now because they spent too much on airfares to Bangladesh looking for Rosalind. Josh went with them one time and they got an interpreter to speak with the villagers. Still nothing. Gone without a trace. I'm sorry for them. Mum says Rosalind ruined them. You can't talk sense to her when it's about her own mother. She says what Rosalind did in abandoning her is no excuse. She knows all about being a young single mother and had not one but 2 pepe when she was only 17 herself. Our place is cool as. It's on a massive section with all these secluded gardens Nan and Rosalind made from tall hedges and driftwood archways that Nanny Sarah underplanted with roses and exotic vines and stuff. I doubt they could do that mahi now. She makes Hine and me trim the lower branches and prune and mow and dig and compost. We should be on a garden makeover show to teach people how to do it. We can have all our friends over at the same time. Mum and her lot can smoke and kōrero hard out or do their women's group buzz at one end. Fence hedges cut down the sound a fair bit and give us heaps of privacy. My sister and our friends can rap and play our songs outside even in winter, 'cause Nan and Rosalind made all these cool Nova Light roofed over gazebos trailing grape and passion fruit vines, and each shelter has its own fire brazier. Nan doesn't approve of sitting around guzzling too many beers, and she and Mum had to come to a bit of an agreement on that. The old people keep away from gangster rap or drinking anyway. They prefer chilling up at the whare. Rosalind also built this cool-as treehouse when she was only 13. So well made it ticks all the health and safety boxes. I was sure Great-Grandpa Steve must have helped her, but Nan says no. He installed the heavy structural support poles and cables, but the rest is all Rosalind's work. Awesome. Me and Hine sometimes take our foam mattresses up there to sleep out on hot summer nights. Though our whare itself is small, it's home for Nan, Nanny Sarah, Mum, Hine and me. Years ago, when our mum was at Kohanga, Papa Matt wanted to set them up with a much bigger house on a tidy section. As if! Then some developers tried to tell Nan she didn't need so much land and offered heaps of money to subdivide, and told her the house could be extended once the sleep-out's gone. Shut up! They haven't been back since. Nan will never sell, and we love that sleep-out with its mini kitchen, toilet and shower. Mum's pleased to have the bedroom area to herself since Papa Matt brought Hine and me a retro caravan each for our 11th birthday and had them set on blocks. It's like a tiny house nation here now. Primo. We've sold our old bunk set and the room divider. It sure was getting a bit cramped. Papa Matt goes to us like, "You guys need your own space now, and baby girl shouldn't be sharing a sleep out with a pair of boisterous pre-teens." Mum's 33 next birthday, and he still calls his daughter baby girl. Nan Helene tells us off about saying she goes, he goes. The word said is disappearing from everyday usage. Why does she worry about dumb stuff like that? The caravans are real cool, especially since we repainted them with graffiti. What's a bummer is we can't sneak our friends over the tin fence anymore. Once the caravans arrived, the gardens around them were replanted after the trailer munted the backyard. Nan Helene also extended the height of our corrugated iron perimeter fence, and then planted mean-as cactus around the inside. Man, that cactus is big now. We have this coded automatic front gate. Nan let Papa Matt pay for that, and it does keep out random callers like the Mormons or door-to-door sellers. No one gets in or out of our property without Nan's knowing. For our 13th birthday, Papa Matt bought us each a lockable garden shed when he saw Hine's clothes poking out of Mum's wardrobe. Mine's stuffed with my surfboard and my wheels. I think Papa Matt still misses Rosalind. He says she was a creative and talented girl and never boring. I googled her pen names, cause Ros Jondell and Ross Bovary, and found published works under both. But when she was hapu, then Helene and Sarah agreed to whangai the baby, so they all lived together. Some time after the baby was born, Rosalind, who was real fluent in te reo for a Pakeha, got this opportunity to travel to Bangladesh with the Māori television to cover stories about child labour in clothing factories. That had been a long-term goal apparently, and she'd pitched them the idea and wrote the script. Ramat of Bangladesh, her children's book, sold well both here and over there. Rosalind drove the truck and was handy on film and was a natural in front of the camera. Everyone says Rosalind had the potential to be the ultimate Jack or Jill of many trades. She had other schemes and trips lined up. We still don't know what happened. Rosalind went back into the slum by herself after a shoot day was over. No one knows why, and everyone agrees it was a dumb thing to do. All this happened over 30 years ago. Over there, the case is closed. There's no leads or any hard evidence of foul play. Bangladesh police are lame, IMO. I want to go on Lost and Found, the missing persons show, and find out what did happen to her. What if she's still alive? Rosalind is 49 now, the same as Papa Matt and that random Kirsty lady who visits Nan every so often. Sunday. When I ran into the kitchen this morning, I nearly tripped over Nanny Sarah's walker where she'd left it by the door. Her mobility scooter was missing from the porch. She'll be down at the church and gone half the day. Nanny Sarah is 82, 3 years older than Nan Helene. I heard the iwi work van start up about 6:30 a.m. Mum had to leave real early to help out at the marae for a tangi of one of the old kuia. She'll be sleeping among the snorers in the wharenui tonight. Hine might hang out there too with our cousins if there's enough room. She's still at her bestie's place in Te Hapara now. Bet Auntie Erina will make Hine do the ginger puddings for the tangi. Nan will text them both later. Nan's so cool. She's kept up with technology and Facebook heaps, not like my friends Koto and Kuya and I know. Useless as with devices. As soon as everyone was out, Nan Helene wanted to show me something. She leads me into the spare room and points to this writing desk that's been there like forever. Therein lie secrets you may wish to unravel some day, Jack. That's Nan Helene for you, being all mysterious. Later I go to her. Nan, I can't think of anything else but what's in there. I just have to know. She crooked her arthritic pinky finger around mine and swore me to secrecy. Until tomorrow, Jack. Then all will be revealed. Monday. I dreamed about Grandma Roslyn last night. I was walking through the slum in Bangladesh and she was filming me. I go to introduce myself to her and begin, Ko Jack Jondo Toko Ingoa, and she interrupts my mihi. I know who you are, Sam I am. You're my grandson, Hamiora. That's the Māori name for Sam. That's impossible, I tell her. You're 18 and Hine and me are 14. When I wake up, it was as if I'd met my real grandmother for the first time. I don't use my given name much, and not many people know it. I call myself Jack. No one calls me Sam either, not anymore. Then I remembered that Sam I Am is in this Green Eggs and Ham book with Rosalind's name on it. Our great-grandmother Esme used to read it to us when we stayed overnight with her when we were little. Random as. Even though it's out of zone, Hine and I go to Langbourne High School because we're twins and it's co-ed. We're year 10. The only other state school alternative is Garrett Boys and Girls High Schools. I took my bike today so I can sneak back into the house. Told Hine I'm getting fit and working off my Coke and McDonald's diet. She won't even notice, but if she says anything about not seeing me at school, then I know that the Year 9 Kapahaka group are going to the district inter-schools rehearsal today. I'll say I went with them to do lights and sound. If Mum finds out I cut class, she'll go mental because of NCEA. The big deal exam. Nan Helene wrote a note explaining I had a doctor's appointment and needed to be excused from morning break for the rest of the day. She goes, some things are more important than school lessons, Jack. I biked back to the house to find out we had the place to ourselves as Nan had planned. Hine had left on the school bus. Nanny Sarah had been picked up earlier by the Sunshine Community van and gone to some old people's function in Talaga Bay, and Mum was at work. In the fridge was some leftover raw fish Mum had made for the tangi, and our kitchen was full of that fresh fry bread smell. The nannies were welcome to that. I got out Hine's ginger pudding and the cream. Sorry about that. She won't mind if I had some. It was good. Nan Helene growled me to save some for my sister and mother. After I'd washed the dishes, we had to do Nan Helene's pinky promise thing again, and then we walked into the room that had been Mum's when she was little. For years there was no furniture like bed or TV, nothing but the old writing desk, a coffee table and bookcase, a comfy chair, beanbags and foam mattresses stacked against the wall. Marae-style sleepovers. Nan's funny. If old people stay, she makes me vacuum first and pile up the mattresses 5 high. She calls it the quiet room, and likes us to read in there without electronic distractions. Mum says she's never seen that writing desk open. I always knew there was something special in there. I figured it must be korowai or some ancient bone-carving necklace kept for when we graduate or something. You stay there, Nan Helene ordered. She had a key in her hand and unlocked the desk, then passed over a pair of gloves. Put them on. I did, and she handed me this old-as journal and told me I could read a little bit each day when no one else was around. You're not allowed to leave the room with it. No talking about it to anyone but me. Any secrets you uncover about others are sacred. Other instructions, too. Leave your mobile on the kitchen table. You're not allowed to copy anything down. No eating or drinking while you're reading it. Jack, I'll lock this taonga up each time Only I know where the key is hidden. If anything happens to me, it's in my will that Kirsty O'Neill is to take possession of the desk and its contents until you reach your majority. What? That Kirsty lady's not even whānau. Oh, whatever. I was shaking with anticipation. It had to be some mean-ass kōrero in that old journal to be locked up for so long. As soon as Nan Helene left, I dragged over a beanbag and started reading. OMG, 1977? That was 40 years ago. And that was the first few pages of Diary of a Kiwi Kid by Robin Lee Robinson. Fantastic stuff. Love to see te reo in there, as well as some awesome Māori culture representation. For those of you who may not be familiar with it, te reo is the language of the native peoples of Aotearoa, New Zealand, the Māori. And hey, here's a challenge just for you. If you found out any words in there that you haven't heard before or you just didn't understand, jump on Google right now and look them up. And then while you're there, I challenge you again to find a group in your community that teaches te reo or even te ao marama and expand your understanding. It's worth it, I promise. I love the writing style in Diary of a Kiwi Kid. Really light and easy to follow, with strong, realistic colloquialisms and youthisms fitting in really neatly with Robin Lee Robinson's exceptional ability to communicate via the written word. Not to mention the story, I was immediately engrossed with the story of a complex, multifaceted family history. I noticed, of course, that the next chapter is an excerpt from Rosalind Jondell's diary from 1977, so I'm going to go read that the very second we're done here. If you want to read it too, but haven't got Diary of a Kiwi Kid, well, I guess you'd better sort that out then, hadn't you? A reminder again that Robin Lee Robinson is an independent author, so get out there and support them, everybody. There will be links in the description to the website and social media and the various places you can pick up their books. I highly recommend picking up a copy of Diary of a Kiwi Kid, and I certainly think it's worth getting your hands on the sequels as well. And as always, thanks very much for watching and listening, everyone. If you like this video, please consider leaving a like. If you want to see more like this video, please subscribe. Ring the bell. One day I'll Google what that does. And if you have any suggestions for books I might read in the future, please comment below. Thank you so much once again. See you next time.